Okay, good afternoon again, and thank you for another fun afternoon. Uh, it's going to be kind of a little bit of a challenging, dating, empathetic discussion that we're going to be talking about. I'm Abed Baidas of Identity Branding Forum, and we try every week to hold sessions that, one, keep us connected, engaged in different mindsets, different ideas, different concepts, and try to connect the dots for everyone, especially during these tough times. We're all in search and pursuit of the next thing to happen. And hopefully this is going to be some that we have been able to contribute to help you discover new things, better things, and hopefully to all that's going to be better this year, next year, and for the rest of our lives, inshallah. So with Identity Branding Forum, we've been over 24 years creating amazing stuff. Take a look at our website. Most of you have been with us before. If you hadn't had a chance to look at the website, the links is also in the handouts section, among other the items that you will find for your reading and participation as well. Now, let's talk about the discussion today, the subject that we are here for. Now, artificial intelligence, everything that's being talked about is actually associated with something called the customer experience. Now, companies of all stripes have invested heavily and continue to invest heavily in tools and technologies to help them understand their customers more deeply, to gain the advantages of superior customer experience. Now, everything associated with customer experience has a meaning to leadership. Why this is important? This will help the leaderships of businesses to form decisions, to have a more complete picture of what's really going out around with their customers, in the eyes of their customers, in the behaviors of their customers, their preferences, and how they can actually continue on aging survey-based measurement systems. That becomes the challenge. With all that's going on, with all the big investments, yes, we still rely on what we all call an aging survey-based measurement systems. And we're not going to be here talk about the technologies on how it works and how it functions. We're just going to talk about the rationale and what's going on, why it is going on, and how can we actually have an alternative systems to make things better for us as a human beings. Now, why they are doing this, why we are investing heavily, because we are in pursuit of creating ideas, opportunities. And so we're trying to track where the next things to happen with customers in order for us to close the loop. Where are the gaps that exist in our current market demand or in the competition market demand, the consumers' behaviors, their attitudes, how that's being changed, monitor that change in order to determine what is required of us to do today as businesses. That's why when we are going through those social medias, we are shopping, we are searching, we surprisingly find what we have been searching for spread all over the social media platforms that we use. Okay, it's not by a coincidence, it is by design and of the technologies, and that's part of the searches and the predictions of what you might need to look for next in the current times, in the modern times. So that's one of the things that we are talking about as the metrics that's helping us to shape everything from employee bonuses to executive compensation to strategic investments, decisions. So everything where we're gonna put our money in. Now, why is this happening? It's associated with the principles that says good brands makes people feel good about you, great brands makes people feel good about themselves. Okay. Now, when you look carefully to this statement, to this slide, you can actually discover that is associated with customer experience. Benefits versus value. Okay? Benefits, good brands makes people feel good about you. Value, great brands make people feel great about themselves. Now, look at this diagram to simplify this directly to you. Okay, if you see the diagram or the table on the right hand side talks about the tangible basics. These are the basics that I need: food, clothes, housing, and this is everything that we are selling actually. And this is what we associated with everything that we are going to school for. Okay, so this here is associated with what we call good brands. Good brands makes people feel good about you, because this is what you're going to deliver: the service, your products, how you deliver them, how you maintain them. And we always seek everybody, how happy are you, satisfied with the service. Then the table on the left hand side, okay, these are associated with the values. It is not, it's indirectly related to your product. It is not associated with how good the quality is, but it's associated with what people aspirations are. That is why the companies that spend money on analytical systems, they are searching for. And they're happy or they are not. Are they suffering or not? What are they complaining about? What it is involved in their life? So now I'm constantly pursuing customers' aspirations, trying to figure out what they really need so I can deliver it to them. Now, okay? So those two together create an experience. And I want to share with you a real life story of myself. Years ago in the early 80s, we had a chicken slaughterhouse. Believe it or not, I sold chicken. Okay. And we had a chicken slaughterhouse in Brazil, actually. And what we wanted to do to compete in the world at that time, the giant companies, and we're just a little kids on the block, new kids on the block. So what we had to do is we had to find a way to compete. And so basically, everybody's focused on selling a chicken. So we had to break away from what everybody is selling and focus on something that is fun. Okay, so we had to search for a customer. There's a difference between a buyer and a customer. A buyer is the one who has actually got the money and spends the money. The customer is the one who makes a decision to spend the money. Okay, now we can change the terminologies, but for the sake of the discussion today, let's take that for the value of this discussion. So when parents goes to the store to buy chicken, they take their kids with them, right? So we couldn't compete against the giant supply of slaughterhouses in Brazil to sell our chicken in Kuwait, the Gulf, and some of the other countries around the world. We had to find a new customer, somebody that we can connect to, engage with, to help our chicken make it home. Okay. So what we did create at that time is our logo, our campaign designs was actually the Roadrunner. On the chicken bag, we had a Roadrunner coming out of a chicken bag. Okay, this is how tasty, how good our chicken is. Now, who is going to spot the Roadrunner on the chicken bag the moment mom and dad comes to the refrigerators to pick their chicken? Their kids, the children. So what we did at that time is our aim was to capture that kid for what was inspirational character, and it's still to me, which is the Roadrunner. Beep, beep. Okay, so if you have missed it, watch it, because you can learn a lot of this lessons out of it. So what we have done then is so the kids picks up the chicken. Mom and dad pays it because it doesn't make any difference. It's chicken, but their kids now wants it. Now we have a customer for our chicken that convinced mom and dad to buy our chicken. So what we had to do is engage that kids in activities for the next 6 months so our chicken stays home. It doesn't leave home. So basically, what we didn't focus on the product. We focused on the unique experience we can create for the whole family and their most precious member of that family, children. Okay, so what we had at that time, we created value to employees. So what we did also is the pay was very low. They didn't eat meat, so we had barbecues for lunch and dinner. And actually, instead of working 4 hours a day, we had a 24 hours production capabilities, because now the families are very supportive and loyal to us. And we had our distributors. We partner with them as long as they paid us the direct cost. Now we split in the revenues and the profits. And to the consumers experience, now it's fun. The fun experience we created for their kids. Now the whole family is having time, a fun time, through the campaigns that we are running. Environmentally, we had zero waste at that time, which was an absolute impossible at that time for the industry. So even the water that we cleaned the chicken with was sold actually to the fertilizers, cosmetics, and a number of other industries in Brazil. So now, getting back to the stories here, surveys-based systems are no longer able to support decision makers, because they are based on what happens now. Okay, and how fast I can capture the opportunity when the whole world is actually chasing that one person. So few leading companies, okay, the executives of those leading companies are increasingly recognizing that surveys are failing to meet their company's customer experience needs. The reason why, because customers' experiences is confused. Now, the minute they get into the social media, the minute they get their searches, they are bombarded by promotion from all over the world. Then instead of them they're searching through those new opportunities that being thrown at them, they just walk away, close it, and walk away from it, ignore it. I'm one of them. The minute you walk in, I search for something, and I go to my Facebook or LinkedIn page, I start seeing those ads from the same company offering me new products. So they chase you. So now they realize they need something else to look into. And the leading companies are pioneering a better approach that takes full advantage of the wealth of data now available. Okay, this is based on a study that was completed by McKinsey and other partners from around the world, recognizing there are 4 major flaws in the current systems of artificial intelligence. No matter what generation we are talking about, the 4th generation, the 5th generation, 3rd generation, whatever it is that you're talking about, there are flaws. Because whatever you are doing, Google is already selling their services to market the products of millions of other companies from around the world. So imagine the poor me sitting in front of my computer just to have a little quiet time to look at messages, my friends, my good friends, colleagues, who is going to collaborate with. Now I'm bombarded by things that I don't really care to see in that sense. So they realize that it's happening. Now, what they are regularly doing, lawfully doing, and seemingly doing, okay, collect smartphone and interactive data from across the customer's financial and operational systems, yielding deep insights about their customers' behavior, what they are buying now. But that still doesn't give them an insight of the future. Okay, the future means a month, a year, 2 years, 10 years from now, where it is heading to. That's the thing. Okay, let me get the binoculars because the handwriting is getting smaller. So all what they're trying to do is to predict what it is that's going to happen with the customers, what's going on in their minds. Who would have known 11 years old kids are the reason behind the success of online purchasing? when they started coming out to have fun, play with, ordering McDonald's or a Burger King off of their smartphone. Okay, so what they wanted to, so basically the kids were the drivers of the industries. Now everybody discovered, hey, if I can sell hamburgers online, now I can sell everything else I could do online. And that's where Amazon started back in 1995 with the idea is that everything could go online. And they became the largest store in the world, the retailers in the world. Okay, now there are, based on those systems, now those with an eye towards the future are boosting their data and analytic capabilities to harness predictive insights to connect more closely to their consumers, anticipate their behaviors. They're going to get happy, angry, excited, and identify the consumer behavior, the customer experience that they are going through now, or I can put them through next. Okay, because a customer experience is generated out of how happy the customer is, not because they need to buy food or to buy a product, but how happy they are. And that creates the opportunities for you to get in. But how do you get in with it? Okay, going through, try to be as brief as possible. Now, talk about the companies. They can better understand their interactions with customers and preempt problems in customers' journey. Their customers are reaping the benefits. But here's what I mean. You are angry with your doctor or angry with the store that you went shopping at and you put your previews online. They're lousy. The competition picks up that message, send you promotional items to say, here is an alternative indirectly. They don't actually say that. So now the minute you are angry, emotional, you're bombarded with alternatives. Now you're ready to make a decision. So what companies are trying to do is trying to really predict not when you are not how happy you are with their products, but with when you are ready to make a decision to change from the competition. That's a big chaser for those major companies. Let's talk about now customer level data lake. Some people call it data desert. They're all the same. So the company gather customers' information, financial, operational data, both aggregate data collectively and individual customers, in order to have a comprehensive, connected, and dynamic customer level data sets to allow the organization make or create a map to track that customer's behavior across interactions, transactions, and operations through search engines, through social media, through websites, through emails, through communications, you name it. So everybody is out there today in pursuit of what we call is to the pull data. Pull as much as you can in order to decide what to push back for them to make the decision to be you. And that's what's critical in the industries. That's why we're, by governments, companies spending billions a year to update the systems, the tools that we have in an effort to really get close to the heart of the consumer. What do you really want to do? What do you really want to buy? How can I please you? How can I be in your life? In other words, the minute you wake up in the morning, you're thinking of me. The minute you sit on your breakfast table, you're thinking of me. You go to work, you're thinking of me. You drive your car, you're thinking of me. Every single minute of that day, companies are in pursuit to stay in your face. They don't want you to leave. The image of your company, the image of you. So what it is that you're trying to accomplish with this. So whereas surveys reflects the views of a subset of customers, okay, at a single point in the past. And that's here's the problem. These rich data sets encompass the full customer base and span the customer journey, but in the current times. So thereby shedding light on root causes of a performance. So now I have a better understanding why the customer is behaving the way that he or she is in order to make a decision what I need to do next. So everything is associated in the analytical system today is based on the behaviors of the consumer. The emotional status of that consumer. How do I change it? How do I really live it and allow myself and the consumers to live it in that extent to make the right decision, to join me, to buy my products? It is something else, okay? Let's talk about the predictive customer scores. The company develops analytics data on a daily basis. We're going through a huge sum of data by the second. Okay, machine learning algorithms, we hear about it, but really a lot of the consumers don't even understand how it works and how it functions. To understand and track consumers. And to track also what influences the consumer, the behavior of that consumer, the emotional state of that consumer. The satisfaction, how does this consumer get satisfied? What makes him happy? What gets him, in order to improve the business performance, how to get them satisfied with the business in order to continue that loyalty stage and detect specific events that are special to the consumers, whether it's your birthday, your mom's birthday, your brother, your husband, your spouse, whatever. But so we try to, like I mentioned, the aim is how to really live the life of the consumer, to understand how they think, how they react, when they can actually reach their pockets and spend that money in order to make the decision to buy your product or our product. So everybody's in pursuit what is going to happen next to the customer, to the consumer. We're thinking about what also could happen next. Two different things. What is happening next is predictive on what was. What could happen next is something that doesn't exist yet. Okay? And if you have any question, I know the subject might be a little bit complex, but please ask so I don't lose you. So what is happening next is based on what was, progression. What could happen next is an event that I can create to change the course of how the emotional state of that consumer is. Competition, okay? And so basically everything that we are doing is to influence the customers. Predictive platforms allow companies to better measure and manage their customers' experience and how it's performing. But why is it not enough? Why is it there is something yet is missing to them? And that's actually, you will find the same question addressed all over the world. Okay, this is where we start. What's missing? How can we predict what the customer wants now and in the future? Artificial intelligence is able to help us catch what the customer wants now, based on the customer's history on the net. So as long as that customer is on the net, we are able to read what the customer is doing or could be planning to do based on his emotional state. But if that customer is not connected online, artificial intelligence can't read it, cannot connect to that customer. So the pursuit now is changing. The dynamics is changing. The challenge is increasingly getting tougher on companies, governments, institutions all over the world, because we keep spending billions, but yet we are not getting to the real-time, on-the-ground opportunities. Validated data. We're trying to predict what could happen when customers is upset, but we cannot actually validate the data of what could happen next. That is where the real money and the bigger return on investment for the companies to achieve that, in order to identify the opportunities now in the future. Not based on the current customer experience, but based on how I can actually change that customer experience. How can you engage? The other question that is critical here: how can I engage current and future workforce, people in the field? Because everybody is worried today artificial intelligence is replacing people. Now remember, artificial intelligence is able to read what's on the net, is able to read, gather information, what the customer is searching for. But it cannot read what could happen next. It reads what is happening or what did happen, and accordingly give you information. It cannot read what could happen next. Big money in that could not read what could happen next. That's a new science. So let's talk about artificial intelligence versus a human intelligence. Since we know artificial intelligence can only function online in an environment where we are able to get connected to everything else, or to the internet of things, as we always say. That's why you always say the internet of things. Now, if we cannot, then what are the solutions? What are the alternatives? And here is the big answer, and to that big question. So what we really need to do is start creating. Think of, instead of creating intelligent machines, now we want smart, passionate people in control. Intelligent machines are fast to process everything, talking about what was and what is. Smart, passionate people are the one that is going to be able to feed it with what is going to happen next. Impressed? You should be, and more in a minute. So what we have done, in order to connect to people, you need to think of how do we really create students, people, employees, friendly enough to connect to people, passionate, okay, and to be able to find out and explore the right questions in order to help their businesses to grow, how to connect and engage. And what is happening, this is why we created the Talents of Endearment Career Labs, which I will tell you exactly in a minute how the whole subject discussion is relevant to this, okay? Remember this diagram that we discussed earlier. This is actually was designed by Identity Branding Forum through its Sustainable Human Development Protocol, okay? So now what we did is, what we do in Talents of Endearment with employees, students, is actually help them filter out their focus here, and explore and find out through engagement what people really care about the most. My story with the chicken, what they cared about, the great fun time for their kids, that helped them make the decision to buy our chicken, the food. So what you really need to do is this is how we start teaching students in our programs, is how to connect to people, the right people, and create an events, engagement, in order to get the opportunities associated with them. We sold fun that brought our chicken home. Remember? So because of their kids and they're having fun, they bought the chicken. This is the opportunity. This is the people's opportunity that we're talking about. But now what's important? How do we, this is where, how do we connect to people in real time? But how do we connect to people to predict what is going to happen next? Everybody ready for this? Here. We teach students to connect, to create a lifelong journey engagement with their customers. Starting from before birth, before at marriage, to birth, to growing up, to 11 to 18 years old, until they hit 65 and above. It is easy now in real time and ground reality for me to predict what the need of this person is going to be from 0 to 10 years old, or from 11 to 18 years old, or from 19 years old to 40 years old, or from 40 to 65, or from 65 to plus. Now our prediction is not hypothetical, it's real. And this is the value what every business is searching for. And that's why we have been successfully able to penetrate market with our Talents of Endearment Career Labs, because what we are able to do for them is create a value for their employees that will actually impact their prediction on creating the customer experience that artificial intelligence cannot predict. With those discoveries fed to the artificial intelligence machines, now we have a very advanced system that is mainly reliance on human intelligence, smartness, passionate, connecting to people, and artificial intelligence machines to predict that now I can start guiding that journey better, smart. So that's how we are able to create passionate passionate people, smart people, connected to humanity and business. And this is by let's say this is the reward of this whole experience. In order for me to create predict real life, ground reality opportunities, the real reward now, I have passionate people that cares for humanity, that cares for businesses. So everything became relevant for the sake of getting the real data. So it's no longer a machine that is going to be able to tabulate, aggregate what is going to happen for me to make a decision what's going to happen next. Now I have a real life experience that is developed to make it happen. Now we have a big game changer. And this is what we help, a game changer for people, employees, students, businesses, and customers. Now, customers are connected to what is real, not what is predictive, not what's being read by a crystal ball or a machine that is going to determine whether what should happen at any moment in time is based on my emotional state of mind. But it will be based on my progression, my growth in life. Now I have a purpose also. Out of development of the real data, now I have people passionate, smart, able to scale up throughout their career, connected to people's lifelong journey, connected to the market lifelong journey that is going to help my business stay sustainable. This is a real sustainability that we talk about. And the way we do it, this is why we bring students, businesses, and entrepreneurs together. to collaborate thinking and build amazing things. Imagine the future. Engage in social activities to create impact on a local level, fun to the kids to sell the chicken, remember? In order to discover tomorrow. The minute you are there, you can always plant your ideas. This is where critical. Not based on what you're doing, but based on what you can discover, what else you can do. Because you're home. That's what our focus is. So now we have a real-time validated data based on ground reality opportunities of now and in the future. What artificial intelligence machine hasn't been able to pick up in the next month, we have been able to show our students within the 33 days of the program how to what it's going to happen, not just next month, in 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, 60 years, 70 years. Unbelievable change. This is what we call revolutionizing intelligence, revolutionizing, adding smart to intelligence, adding smart people to intelligent machine. The outcome is going to be phenomenal. So now we have a lifelong journey, lifelong engagement. It cannot disconnect. If the internet is broken, yeah, it's going to make it a little harder to get information. But now I'm connected to the market aspiration. Now I have a journey that doesn't break. Now I have a sustainable human development, and now I have a sustainable business. Join us in the next Career Lab. And now we are take advantage of the special offer, sponsored offer of the Talent Endearment Career Labs. The first 3 days is for you to try it for free, no commitment. If you like it, you can pay the subscription and join the program, the rest of the programs, not only to complete the 33 days, but you will also have a platform to build your own ecosystem for 5 years. And you will also enjoy a lifetime online community support. So you're never alone. When you need help, you will find it there. We also have a similar smart internships opportunities that that right now is running in 6 universities between India, UAE, and Croatia. And we hope that if you're a student, join us. And if you know students, please recommend us to them. And the links for that is in your handouts section. You will find all those links. Please enjoy them, read them, join us, and share them with others as well to make the things better for everybody. Together for each other. Now it's a question time. Let's see what we have. What can be used for the tracking and measurement? What are the most effective tools? Human. Like I mentioned, you see, when you go out to it is not the tools that you can that is going to help you get it. It's what the question that you're trying to address to decide what tools it is that you need to get. Okay. And here, with what AI available for use, there is an abundance of systems. But the most advanced AI system is going to be useless if you have no strategy that you know what you're going to be getting for. And like I said, what you really need to do is create a smartness to intelligence in order for the system to function properly. Artificial intelligence is a tool today. All what it does, it gathers data for us. Instead of having thousands of researchers to find information that could take months or years, now it's done instantly. And we're only capitalizing on the networks and everything that is happening on the net. If you go on Google right now controls the artificial intelligence world, the search engines world out there. Google, Facebook, they are not. People think they're social networks. They're actually marketing networks. They captured free markets, free data, consumers like you and I, And now now they have a predictive data as in order to sell it to manufacturers or companies like you and I to reach those human data, their buying habits, their geographies, their demographics, their income levels, their ages. That's what they're selling you. Everything that is out there today, no matter what system you get, no matter what system you get, no matter how sophisticated it is, it's going to help you to do one thing only: predict what the customer is going to do next based on their emotional state of mind, their state of mind or their emotional reactions. They measure that. They create experiences for you to react and buy now. What is critical right now is, how do I really start connecting this, find the system that is going to be able to help me determine what could happen next. That's what you really need to search for. And I couldn't tell you what system is out there other than Talents of Endearment Career Labs. Thank you. Any other questions? Okay, since we have no other questions, we come to conclusion today. We appreciate everything that you said or you did not say, and we hope you share those feedbacks with us so we know to keep continuing upgrading and updating ourselves to make sure that we're able to bring you the very best, inshallah, hopefully. Please stay safe, positive, productive. Until next time, click on the handouts, share the links, and join us on the upcoming Career Labs. Take advantage of those 3 days of it. You're not going to lose anything except that you're going to discover a whole new world that you have not seen or heard of before. Thank you. God bless. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.